In this video, we're going to discuss about the class Crustacea. Okay, yeah, and don't forget that we'll have different class under the phylum Arthropoda. So I'm just dealing on each of these class. I've done a class Insecta, which you can check in my YouTube channel, where you can get insight on different species of insects and metamorphosis and other information that is very important to that class. Okay, so it's very important for this video for us to touch important concepts. So we need to look at the characteristics, classification, and importance of this class. Okay. So before I go further, just a big congratulations to Spain for winning the FIFA World Cup 2026. And the game was very hectic, and they played against Argentina. So a big congratulations to Spain for this great win. Okay. So it's very important for us to know that this class Crustacea, most of the species are aquatic. Okay, you find them in water. All right, so you have your crabs, your lobster, shrimps, barnacle. But there's some species that live in oceans and freshwater, and it's very important for us to know that there's also some species that have adapted to life on land. For example, you have your wood lice. This is how the wood lice look like. Okay, so you can find them on land. This example of a crustacea. Okay, so just a clear picture presentation of different representative of this class. So the first one, you have your crabs, and don't forget that crabs are amphibians. You can find them in water, you can find them on land. Okay, so they're called the amphibians. Then you have your lobster, you have your shrimps, you have your crayfish, you have your barnacle, and you have your krill. So these are the members of this class. So kingdom Animalia, phylum Arthropoda, they're all arthropods. You have a class Crustacea, and the common name is what? Crustaceans. So very important to get that straight. So it's very important for us to know where they are occupied based on the habitat. So you can find them in oceans. Okay. So what other habitat you can find them? You can find them in freshwater lakes and rivers. And you can also find them in intertidal rock pools. All right, and you can find them on a damp soil, for example, like a wood lice. Okay, so very important point. So I'm going to go through the general characteristics. Okay, and we'll just go through some 8 defining traits about those things they possess that makes them to be able to to fall into this group. Okay, so the first thing to check here is they have 2 main body regions. Okay, don't forget that they are not triboblastic. They have just 2 body regions, so which is what the cephalothorax and the abdomen. All right, unlike class insecta that have both the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. So you don't have only the cephalothorax and the abdomen. Okay, so they have 2 pairs of antennae, and this antennae is used for sensing the environment. Okay, to get vibration and sense the environment, and it's kind of a defense mechanism that makes them to be what aware. So this is the antennae. You can find them in shrimps, in crayfish, and other species are found under this class. So they are biramous. Bi means two, which means they have a branch appendages which can be used for swimming, it can be used for walking, and it can be used for feeding. All right. So it's very important to get that point straight. So respiration is through the gills. All right, but we have very other small species. We have some other small species which exchange gas directly through the body surface. But most of them, which are the crabs, the other members, they respire through the gills. So it's very important to understand that. And they have a hard and a reinforced exoskeleton because most of them are found in water. You can find them in seas. So they have this calcareous outer shells and make them to be able to contain the make that skeleton very strong and hard. All right, and this help for extra strength and protection, and it serve as kind of a defensive mechanism for most species. Okay, so they have a compound eyes. These eyes make them to be able to get what a very good wide field of vision for them to see properly and for them to be able to spot the prey and be able to escape from predators. All right, then they have open circulation. And open circulation, like I explained in other videos, this circulation does not actually involve the blood vessels. They're not. What actually happens is that Blood is being pumped by a dorsal heart and flows through open body cavities rather than the blood vessels like your veins and the arteries. So they don't require the vein and the arteries for circulation. So that's why it's called an open circulation, which is different from that of a closed circulation that requires them to use the blood vessels for the carrying in and out of blood through the heart and out of the heart. Okay, so development of the larva stage. So they don't really have a metamorphosis like that of an insect, you understand? But many crustaceans hatch as a free swimming larvae, which is called what? The nauplius. You understand? The nauplius. Before this nauplius later metamorphise into what? An adult form. And this is how this nauplius look like. This is how it look like. So they pass through different stage of metamorphosis, then get to what? An adult stage. Okay, so it's very important. So it is adaptation. So just a table summary. So they have a hard exoskeleton for protection. They have a gills for respiration, jointed legs for movements. They have claws, also called the chile, which help for feeding and defense. Compact eyes for wide field of vision. Antennae, sense of touch and smell. So it's very important to write this down in your books. Okay, so economic importance. So we're going to go through how they help and how they actually cause what harmful effects on different stuff. So a major source of seafood we eat arthropods. They taste very nice, like your crabs, your shrimps. It tastes very nice, and they support large aquaculture and fishing industries. People get income from these, and the Cree and other small crustaceans are called ocean food chain, and they help in feeding fish and whales, and they are used as bioindicators of water quality. So with these, can easily indicate if water is clean, the water is there's a term we use in ecology. We call it eutrophic. We call it eutrophic. We call it leucotrophic, and there's some kind of term they used to use to describe water that is clean. Sometimes use the word anosmic. So let me forget about that anyway. So they help to as bioindicators of water quality to know, okay, if water is clean or if water is dirty or not. So let me just bore you guys with some basic terms. So this is a nice meal, a seafood. You can see the crabs, shrimps, and nice veggies that you can use to make a proper meal and feel very good and satisfied. So this is one of the benefits of this class. So harmful effects. So barnacles cause biofouling on ship hulls and underwater pipes. So they can cause the biofouling in the ship hulls and make the ships. You can slow down a ship and it can actually make the parts of the shape to look very unpleasant. Okay, so I have some parasitic species that can harm fish in aquaculture farms. I also have some crabs that damage fish nets and gears, and few land species like wood lice can damage garden seedlings. So look at this biofouling. You can see how it looks like in the shape. See how it looks like. So all you need to do is to just remove them, scrape it out, and make it free from these species. Okay, so it's very very important. So we'll also go through some multiple choice questions that can actually come out in exam. So it's very important. So here you can see crustaceans belongs to which phylum? They're all arthropoda. Okay, they're all arthropoda. And which of the following is not a crustacean? So a grasshopper is an insect, is not a crustacea. And crustaceans respire mainly through what? Through the gills, not through the lungs, not through trachea, not through the skin, but through the gills. So this is the end of this video. But just to let you know, now tomorrow, which is Wednesday, okay, which is 22nd, yeah, 22nd of July. Yeah, I'm going to teach my first live lecture, which is cell and its environment. Okay, cell and its environment. So if you're interested in this class, just write to the comment section and just type, send me the link, the Zoom link of the meeting. I'm going to pop it there, or I'm going to pop the Zoom link there. So once you watch the video, just you can click the link, and I'll write it. I'll just put the information of the live lecture so you can participate. So I'm going to teach about cell and its environment. It's a 2 days live lesson, which I'm going to learn about osmosis and diffusion, and I'm going to break it down. I'm going to use a normal classroom style where I'm going to take my time to explain key concepts, use analogies, and break it down so everybody can understand and make the lesson very engaging. Okay, so see you next time. and take care of yourself. Goodbye.